Welcome back. I'm Kelly Price. Gator fans, we know you have a reason to be down right now, but here is a little good news tonight. The men's basketball team gets a boost going into tonight's matchup with Jacksonville. Point guard Scotty Wilbekin is back in an orange and blue jersey. Well, we won't have to see much of these guys at point guard tonight with Wilbekin back in the game. He'll start his senior season tonight as the number 15 Gators are down to just 7 healthy scholarship players. Wilbekin will be the only true point guard in tonight's lineup after freshman Casey Hill suffered a high ankle sprain a week ago. The Gators will look to Wilbekin to get the team back into a rhythm after struggling to create ball movement offensively against Middle Tennessee.
We've played 5 games without him, and it can't be a situation where our guys now relax and think that roles are going to change, because roles are not going to change in terms of responsibilities of guys on our team. So, it's good to have another body. It gives us a little bit more depth.
Florida and Jacksonville will tip off tonight at 7 p.m. On the football field, the Gators will not be bowling at the end of the season after a loss to FCS team Georgia Southern. Florida went down 26-20 at home while surrendering 429 yards on the ground to the Eagles in Florida's first loss to a lower division opponent in school history. All was well as Florida quarterback Skylar Morningweg tosses a 3-yarder here to Solomon Patton to put the Gators up 10-0. But then Georgia Southern scored 20 unanswered points without completing a single pass. The Eagles continued to dominate the ground and ran a 5-play, 75-yard drive to set up a final touchdown with about 5 minutes left here. Eagles up 26-20. And the Gators couldn't capitalize from the 17-yard line before time expired. Despite a 6-game skid, Coach Will Muschamp still thinks the Gators aren't as far gone as some fans think.
Well, I don't think it's just hitting a reset button. I mean, it takes work, but I don't believe we're that far off. Regardless of the results Saturday afternoon, which is all disappointing for everyone, starting with me, I just don't feel like we're that far off.
Florida kicks off Saturday against number 2 Florida State. But there were some happy days elsewhere in the Southeastern Conference this weekend, and now 3 of the top 5 of the BCS standings are SEC teams. Alabama sits on top, FSU is at 2nd, Ohio State in 3rd, followed by Auburn and Missouri. This weekend, the Tide rolls to Auburn for the Iron Bowl, and if Missouri wins against number 21 Texas A&M this week, the Tigers will go to the SEC Championship. The Gator volleyball team says a sad goodbye to seniors Chloe Mon and Taylor Brown Eyes as it closes out the regular season play this week. The 2 seniors were honored in a pregame ceremony at the O-Dome on Friday night. Florida hosted LSU in its home finale and swept the Tigers. Mon now leads the country in hitting percentage, and Brown Eyes is 14th nationally in assists. The Gators close out the regular season in Lexington on Wednesday. The Florida soccer team returns to Gainesville after losing in the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament on Friday night. The Gators lost to Duke 1-0 off a corner kick at the 21-minute mark shown here. Duke will go on to play Arkansas, a team Florida beat 1-0 in the SEC tournament. Head coach Becky Burley says she feels like the Gators dominated the pitch, but unfortunately just couldn't get the win.
When you look at teams that are either still in the tournament or advancing, and you know that you're as good as those teams, I mean, that's hard. But at the same time, it comes down to what you do on that particular day. And
Florida finishes 18-5-1 on the season. And ladies, last night, the Bucks won and the Jags won, but the Dolphins did lose.
I guess it is good to see at least 2 of the 3 Florida teams winning.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Thanks, Kelly.
More news after the break. Stay with us.